So right now the profit is about 13K. I wouldn't want to give up that profit. Brand new trading week, and I have a brand new perspective on the markets. No trades so far this week, which is my favorite way to start off a new trading week. So I'm going to show you guys some of the trades that I'm looking to take. Right now I've marked up 3 pretty good trading opportunities, but specifically I'm looking at taking longs on Euro CAD right now. We just bounced off an area of support, so I think I'm about to enter in long. That's why I wanted to start the vlog right now. So I'm thinking about risking about 3,000 to 4,000 on this trade, maybe a little bit more, depends on how I see this bounce that we're having right now off of support. And then later on in the week, especially if I have profit to work with, then I can increase my risk on another trade, a future trade, to like 6,000, 7 or 8K. Because honestly, that's not that much risk. We're swing trading, so even if I do lose a trade, it's over the course of like a day or two. So it's really not that much risk, especially with like a 50% win rate and a positive risk to reward. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this trade. This vlog right here is not gonna be too much about lifestyle. It's just more me showing you the trade that I'm taking, my thought process when it goes in profit, when it goes in drawdown, and kind of like, what do I do if the trade goes against me? The live in and out of my trades is by doing these little vlogs, so I can record precise moments and important moments in the trade where most traders mess it up. Most traders will have these moments where the trade will make a pullback, and that's literally where they mess up and lose the profits or end up closing out of the trade too early. So also I added this to the trading setup. I think it looks pretty fire because it matches the white from the black of the monitor and the white of the background. I think that looks pretty good. So yeah, I mean, this is the setup I have right here. According to this setup right here and what I'm seeing, market should continue to go bullish, because if I zoom out here, look at the 4-hour time frame. We've been consistently making higher lows and higher highs following that 50 EMA. We're following the 50 EMA to the upside. We're consistently making higher lows and higher highs. And if we go up a time frame into the daily time frame, we'll see that we've actually been on a bullish trend for a very long time. So I'm really liking the idea that price is going to bounce off of this support right at the 161 psychological level. To me, this trade makes a lot of logical sense. It follows my trading plan and it has a nice bullish trend. I would have a good entry confirmation here based off of the bounce off of support, almost a 50 EMA tap on the 4-hour. And I think if I go into the 2-hour time frame, we are right at the 50 EMA. So for me, this follows my plan. It has multiple confluences. So I'm gonna be looking to probably enter in here now. Also, I forgot to show you guys the other pairs that I'm looking at is USD CAD, pullback, retest, and then going bullish, because we've also been bullish on this. We have a nice time frame alignment because this is the 1-hour, this is the 4-hour, and this is the daily, so I have to fix it. As you see, we broke above these highs, therefore market structure shift on the daily time frame. Price is starting to trade above the moving average, etc. And then the last pair was on GBP CHF. Daily time frame is starting to slow down a lot. 4-hour time frame starting to show a lot of signs of bearishness here. So the idea here is to look for shorts. So to look for a sell position once this does make lower lows and lower highs. But like I said, because EuroCAD looks so clean right now, this is the pair that I'm looking to trade. But those other two also have pretty good opportunities. So I'll see you guys once the trade starts to progress and once I'm actually in the position. Yo, we're back. So honestly, I didn't update you guys for almost a day, but we're here in the next day. We're still on the trade on EuroCAD and we're moving very nicely in profit. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that trade here real quick. We've got a lot to update you guys on. I'm getting also my first futures funded payout today. So I'm gonna request it here on the vlog for you guys so you can see how it works. I've never done it. I don't even have my bank connected to it yet. First futures account ever. Literally just in the past couple of days trading, made around 1,600. Remember, this is on a 50K account. So very, very small account. And yeah, so now I'm just gonna withdraw it, show you guys the FX trade that I'm currently in. I should be running around 5 to 6K in profit on that trade right now that I entered in yesterday when I first showed you guys the entry on the vlog. So let me go ahead and flip the camera and show you the setup. All right, so I got the setup right here. First, let me show you guys a little gift that I got myself for having 14K in the past 2 weeks. So I made this little gift to myself. Pretty nice, pretty nice. They do work pretty good. Now, I probably should have gotten the ones that turn into sunglasses outside, but the only reason why I didn't do that is because I'm gonna get another pair of these, probably a little bit bigger for the sun. I just think these are too small for being outside in the sun, and they're better for like just chilling, nighttime, or just being here on the computer. So yeah, nice little pickup. Okay, so this is the cleanest setup out of the 3 that I showed you in the first part of this vlog. So we had USD CAD, insane, holy shit, I hadn't checked this one in a couple of hours. USD CAD went exactly how I called it out to go. Bullish market structure, price breaks above resistance right here, right above 138 psychological level. If you can see that here to the right. Price then kind of consolidates here for a while. That's fine. Price made a breakout, retested the support. That's literally where I said to enter. And now look at this. So anyone who would have taken this trade, I did post it on my Instagram story, by the way, 65 pips, 65 easy pips, at least a 1 to 3 risk to reward on this one. Wish I would have taken it, but I got Euro CAD. So also the second pair that I called out was GBP CHF. I'm here on the 2-hour time frame. Called it out right here. We're gonna wait for a lower high. Boom, lower high, move down. This was drawn before this even happened. Beautiful move once again. And the third one was the cleanest pair in my opinion, because if you zoom out here, let me take a step back. What do we see here? We see a nice bullish trend, beautiful bullish trend, continuing to go higher and higher and higher. And now we are starting to pull back because we reached a minor area of resistance, but I think we're gonna continue to go bullish. So I'm anticipating a push up soon with the formation of a higher low to then continue up to 162 psychological level where I'm gonna exit out of my full trade. So that's my plan for this. All right, so let me go ahead and switch over here. Like I said, I literally have no idea how this works, but apparently I'm here in my account. I have to click on one of these accounts. Now I already have one of these accounts, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Let me log in real quick and then I'll show you guys. Let me just refresh this page because I want to make sure it's not like outdated or whatever. Should be chilling though. And I don't know why they made it so hard to find the payout page. I literally had to go in the forums to find that link. All right, so we made it to the payout page. Let me zoom in here real quick. Boom. All right, so I ended up making 1,600. This is about 6 or 7 trading days right here. Honestly, taking very low conservative risk. And there was a day that I could have ended actually green, but I decided to stop trading because it was just like, I only want to trade like the first couple of minutes. So anyways, 1593.6. It only lets me withdraw 50%, unfortunately, as you see here. So let's just divide that by 2. All right, so 796. I'm gonna put in 796, type in my email, and then get this payout submitted. Boom. Let's see if it worked. Let's go. So it worked, but nice little first futures withdrawal so far. All right, so it's now Thursday and the trade is finally about to hit take profit. So I did tell you guys I was gonna update you on, basically what was my thought process throughout the trade. This trade, basically, it just had one major pullback where it was just pretty obvious that it was just making the next structure point, the next higher low, to continue to go upwards. So nothing really too complicated about this. I just entered the position earlier this week when I showed you guys the entry. And right now it's about to hit take profit. So it's just patience, entering the trade, waiting for it to go to the take profit, and just being very, very patient. So I'm about to show you guys the setup and where I plan to exit out of the trade. Probably not gonna exit out of my full take profit just because it's been already like multiple days, and I don't wanna keep staying in this trade. Because for me, the way I see it is the longer I stay in one trade, the less opportunities that gives me the freedom of taking. So chances are I'm not going to be taking a really good sell position that I see on Euro CHF, or I'm not going to be taking, let's say for example, a buy on GBP USD if I'm in a current trade. Sometimes I'll do it, but a lot of the times I'd rather have one trade finalized first. So just do one trade at a time. So that way my risk could be freed up and I could just focus all of my focus on one trade at a time. So that's the way I see it. That's why I don't like being in one trade for like, I don't know, for example, more than a week. Because unless the market is just trending and I'm beyond my 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 point, which doesn't really happen that often, then I may as well just secure my 1 to 2, 1 to 3 risk to reward and just move on to the next trade. But this is a great example of a trade where it is probably going to continue to go upwards, but I'm going to close out, secure my profit, and move on to the next one. All right, so as you see right here, we're starting to push up again. The market did this one major pullback. It did kind of like a fast pullback here yesterday, but that wasn't really too, it was just a small kind of correction, I guess you could say. Now we are pushing back above resistance now, and chances are we're gonna come up towards that 162 area. So I'm looking to close out kind of like where my mouse is right now at 161,900, give or take a couple of pips. The reason why I'm looking to close out there instead of holding until my full take profit is because since we're approaching that psychological level, I do want to play it safe just in case we do reject right before 162. I don't want to miss my take profit, which I'm already up $10,000 for literally a couple of pips. So right now the profit is about 13K. I wouldn't want to give up that profit just for an extra, couple of pips, like 10, 15 pips. So right now I have a take profit set around that 900 level, kind of like how I mentioned. So let's see if that could get hit, because at the end of the day, I'm very happy with these profits. It is over a 1 to 2 risk to reward, and I've been in this trade for multiple days. This is the only trade I've taken all week. So I want you guys to get a message from that. So one of the things that was one of the biggest turning points in my trading was when I went from taking 5 trades a week to now taking, let's say, 1 trade a week. Let's say you're taking 5 trades a week. You have to divide your risk by 5 trades. You have to find 5 high quality trades every single week. And sometimes the markets just aren't that clean. Compared to taking 1 trade a week, you can literally just find the best possible opportunity that week and only take that one. You can put all of your risk behind that 1 trade, and you can only focus on 1 trade at a time. That is so much more powerful than trying to trade a bunch of times a week. And it's not even close. It's not even close to results that you can achieve with this, because you're gonna choose the 1 A+ setup out of the 5 possibilities. Instead of taking a B+ setup, a B-, a C+ setup, A-, and then 1 A+ setup, that 1 A+ setup that you're probably gonna win, it's not even gonna make you that much because you had to divide your risk across all of the other decent trades and you probably had some losses. So once you actually win that A+ setup, it's not gonna be as impactful. So I'm telling you, this was one of the biggest turning points for me. If you start to focus on quality over quantity, your results are probably gonna get much better. And that's honestly how I was able to scale up my risk to the point where now I could risk potentially 6K, 7K per trade. Because I know worst case scenario, I'll only lose 6K in a week. That's not that bad, especially if the week after that, I can make, let's say, 14K. So it's really not that bad. But if you're taking 5 trades a week, you lose 6K on Monday, and then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, forget about it. You're not gonna be able to maintain that level of risk management. So if you wanna scale up and you wanna actually start risking more money on your trades, highly recommend taking 1 or even 2 trades per week. All right, so we just hit take profit on the trade. It was fucking insane. It's Friday morning right now, and we just had a huge spike up that hit my take profit on this trade. Let me show you right now what just happened in the market. All right, so it was literally insane. I was just watching EuroCAD and price was right around here. It was just chilling. This market, like this candle was pulling back right around here. And then out of nowhere, we just had this huge spike up. So apparently there was some type of like, I guess, news or something. But for EuroCAD to move up this much, insane. So I'm very happy. I hit my take profit on this trade. It's Friday. Literally, I was already thinking like, damn, am I gonna have to hold this trade until next week? Because then at that point, the swap starts to get higher and higher. All right, so literally in swap, it was about like 700 bucks or something, but I'm really glad that I got out here. So I got out at 886. Not bad. I mean, yeah, sure. I could have probably caught a bigger move there. But at the end of the day, I still caught most of this move. And I was right about price coming into 162. So it's just really, really good seeing that my one analysis for the week actually played out the way that I thought it was going to. So very happy about this trade because it's the only trade I took this week. So I really wanted it to be a win. And honestly, what a great way to end the week. So literally everyone in my group caught this trade as well, which is just fucking insane. Just how much money this trade made, not just for me, but for all of the people who are in my group. So very, very crazy. So all right, so we're on the charts. It's currently the weekend right now, so I decided to make this breakdown of the trade that I took on EuroCAD this week. So this trade made me $13.5 thousand after swap, fees, and commissions. It was about 107 pips, the full take profit. I didn't catch the full 107 pips, but more or less I caught around 100 pips. Beautiful, beautiful trade. So let's break down some of the reasons why I took this trade. What was my thought process throughout the actual trade itself? Because as you see here, there was a lot of ups and downs. And lastly, what made me exit out of the trade? And ultimately, what led to this being such a winning trade? So we can continue to just take this exact same setup over and over again. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We just want to take what's working and just squeeze out all of the profits that we can get from this exact type of setup right here. So let's actually study this and let's learn from this trade so we can continue to do this. The first thing you see, I'm on the 2-hour time frame. What do we see? We have a bullish market structure. But when I say that, I'm not just saying bullish market structure just to say it. I'm saying look at how the market is actually moving. It's moving in these waves. For me, the best analogy is that the market moves in waves. And if you can consistently predict where the market's going, just like this, like if it's obvious, then those are probably good markets to trade. Notice how every time we come up, we go down towards the moving average, right? This is the best moving average here. We bounce off of the EMA every single time. Boom, boom, boom. We go up, we make a new high. So it's obviously a bullish market, but it's also a predictable market. And then we come down to the support and we continue to go bullish. That's the first thing that I saw when I was first analyzing this market. 100%. The first thing I saw was like, oh shit, this market is clean. Because I also had on my watch list, I had USD CAD and I had one more pair, which I took off my checklist here, but it was, I think it was GBP CHF sells. There you go, GBP CHF sells. This one was also very clean because we had a market structure shift to the downside right here. We had a lower highs, and lower lows. And this shit actually made a massive move. I kind of regret not trading this one too, because it could have potentially been a $30,000 trading week for me. But for me, that would have been a little bit too much to have two trades running at once with all of the volatility that we had in the markets. You know, that would have been a little bit too much. So I'm actually just, I'm glad that I still did what I did, because at the end of the day, caught this massive move. And at the end of the week on Friday is when we had this massive push up here. So first of all, let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame, because price has been making higher highs and higher lows. All right, so we took a look at the 2-hour, but if we look at the 4-hour time frame, And if you guys see this in the market, understand that it's telling you that the market is going up. So unless you have signs that the trend is dying out, then you can feel confident to take buy positions and just ride the wave to the upside. However, once you do see those bearish confirmations, or at least the lack of bullish confirmations, like for example, this right here, if I'm looking to enter in the market, if I'm looking to be a participant as a long, then this right here will worry me unless the low is still lower than the previous low. If this happens, then it's fine to take longs and you could actually just take a buy right here. However, if you have equal highs, but then this low actually comes down and violates the low to the left, then that's where you have to watch out and make sure you don't take that trade. So it's just being very aware of the trends. But in this case, we had a clear trend that was nowhere near dying out because you had this high up here. This low is higher than this low. It's very obvious that it's higher than this one. As you see, the highs are lower or higher than the previous ones. So this is just a very clear bullish market structure. And this is what you want to get used to seeing in the markets. Because once you can see this, you can just filter out all of the best markets to trade and just cancel the ones that aren't that good. Literally, if you just focus on the markets that look like this and you trade these with a clear market structure, like you have here on the 4-hour time frame with higher highs and higher lows, then you're going to win most of the time. And you're not just going to win 1-to-1 risk to rewards. You're going to win 1-to-2s, 1-to-3s, 1-to-4s sometimes, because you're entering in at the swing low to then catch the wave to the upside. So let's take a look at number 2, which is the fact that we're bouncing off of a psychological level. 161 right here, if you look to the right side, is a psychological level. It's a nice round number. And these are prices where the market loves to react at. These are prices where the market participants are not going to let it go below there unless you have a strong breakthrough. But most of the time, they're going to act as support. So when I saw that the market was actually retesting into support at a psychological level, that's an extra confluence for me to then go long at this point down at this support. We have the EMA bounce on the 2-hour time frame. So let's go down back into the 2-hour time frame and let's look at our trusty EMA. This exponential moving average, especially on this market right now, has worked like a charm. Literally, I want you guys to just take a look at how beautiful the 50 EMA has been working on this market. It worked here as support, then price broke below it and went bearish. Right? So you can use it as a guide of the trend, because here when the market was above it, we were in a bullish trend. Here when the market broke below, we are in a bearish trend until it switched back to bullish. Now, what do we have here? We have a rejection off the EMA, another rejection off the EMA over here, and the market just keeps using it as a dynamic area of support. So it's so simple. If you can just use it as your support, then you can either take a buy at the area of support, or you can wait for it to basically bounce first and then take your entry. But regardless, it gives you a good idea of where the lows and the highs are going to be. So when I saw that price first used it down here, but then it came up, and then came right back down to retest into a support zone that we have on the 2-hour and the 4-hour time frame. And we rejected also off of the EMA. That was a clear sign for me that the market was going to continue to go bullish. And there was only a little bit of uncertainty here where the market almost seemed like it wasn't going to hold at 50 EMA, but it actually was. The thing is that it was just going down one more time, I guess, to grab as many orders as possible to then go bullish. But all in all, it held that moving average here on the 2-hour time frame beautifully. So we held on the 2-hour time frame, we had that psychological level, and we had the 4-hour higher highs and higher lows. But we also had a daily time frame break above resistance. So there was a very nice bullish pattern where if we go on the daily time frame, we'll be able to see it very nicely. Right here, we had 161 daily resistance for a very long time. I've been watching this area of resistance since June, since the end of June when we first came into this daily resistance and rejected it. All happening at 161. Just remember the fact that it's all happening at around psychological level. Price comes in there, rejects it. A couple of weeks later, the next month, we reject it again. And then here, now finally in August, price is finally able to actually break above this daily resistance. What does that mean for us? If price had rejected it in July and in June, but now on the third month of coming back into the daily resistance, it's finally starting to break above it. That definitely means something. That gives us a hint that the market is extremely likely to continue bullish. So the daily pattern that you see here is a candle closing strongly above daily resistance 161, but then coming right back and retesting the exact level that it broke out of. This is a very powerful pattern on the daily time frame that you guys should definitely go and actually backtest it. A break above daily resistance and then price comes right back into it either the day after or one day after that to then continue in the initial direction of the actual breakout itself. Super, super powerful pattern. Can't find an example right now off of this chart because it was a little choppy earlier, but this is definitely something that you're gonna see happen a lot. So we had that bullish daily pattern. And the beautiful part about this trade is that I was able to place my take profit at a nice psychological level, and it fit within my risk to reward, which was around a 1 to 2.4. So 1 to 2.4 gave me also a take profit at the psychological. So as you see here, my final take profit was about 6 pips above 162, because I know most of the time the market's gonna go 6 pips above there. I closed out a little earlier. Because this market took so long to play out, I actually just decided to have my take profit lower. As it pulled back, I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be one of those trades. It's going to be one of those trades where we just consolidate and consolidate and consolidate. And I was starting to think that I was going to have to hold this trade until the next week, but thankfully, price actually just shot up on Friday. So because of that, that's why I just placed a more conservative take profit. I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. If we go back up to 161,900, then I'm just going to close out of the trade. I'm not going to potentially lose my 2% risk to reward just for an extra like 0.4%. Just doesn't make sense. So then price came up, literally tapped my take profit, and then minutes after it went to where my full take profit would have been. So yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But still, I love the fact that I was able to place my take profit at 162 because you're taking a buy at 161 and you're exiting at 162. Those are the highest probability trades you're ever going to find. You're ever going to find. If you take a buy, let's say on GBP/JPY at 199 and you place your take profit at 200, that's going to be such a clean trade. Assuming you follow our other rules and our other confluences. Like at the entry point, you want to have some type of entry confirmation. Could be a rejection candle, could be an engulfing candle. You want to be following the trend. If you take a buy at 199, but price has been trending downwards, then forget about it. That's definitely not what you want to do. But assuming you follow everything, you take a buy on GJ at 199, then the exit at 200, that's going to be such a clean trade. Same exact thing here on EuroCAD. We entered in at 161, we exited at 162. Let's take a look at GBP/CHF, the trade that I actually missed. What do we have here? 1.09. This is a huge level right here because price rejected it very strongly, and then we went down past we went close to 1.08. Now, the reason why this is a huge take profit is because this pair isn't as volatile. So it's not the same comparing, here's the measure. Yeah, it's not the same comparing 100 pips on GBP/CHF as it is on GBP/JPY, because on GBP/JPY, it would have been beautiful to, let's say, for example, take a sell at 200 and you exit out at 199. You know, something like that would have been clean. So at the end of the day, it does depend on the pair itself. But let's just say this: you use the psychological of the half, the midpoint, 1.08, 500. Look how clean it goes from 1.09 to 1.085. So this is something that I've been using for my trading for years now, and it's one of the most powerful things that I've been able to use in my trading. I want to keep having trading weeks like this where I make $13,000. Potentially I want to get to the level where I can do this every week, not just some weeks. So far the results have been extremely good, but they can always be better. They can always be better, and that's what I want to take you guys on this journey with me. And I want to help you guys out along the way as well. Some of my students are starting to have insane results. This guy literally turned, I think it was a $600 to $2,600. And my other student made his first 10,000 in a week. And that student, I'm pretty sure he's from Poland. So that's really fucking crazy. But anyways, getting off track now. I'll see you guys in the next video.